they truly are on our side, they should be willing to do that. You know, I think there are probably a lot of very good Muslims in this country and good people of all kinds. But we need to apply the Teddy Roosevelt philosophy. In 1907, Teddy Roosevelt said, America is a land of immigrants. And we welcome people from everywhere, regardless of their background, as long as they want to be Americans and accept American values. If they don't, they can stay where they are. Those are things that make sense. And that's what we need to be thinking about. Also, we have to think about another thing that is threatening our future. And again, it goes back to my strong desire to have prosperous country for those who are coming behind us. Our fiscal irresponsibility is absolutely absurd. You know, our Congress just okayed this over $1 trillion omnibus bill. And look at the stuff that's in it. This is a Republican Congress that okayed it. It has, you know, climate change stuff in it. It has resettlement of refugees in it. Obamacare is in it. Planned Parenthood is in it. Sanctuary cities is in it. And they okayed this? Are you kidding me? And these are people that are supposed to be representing us, that we've been sending to Congress for several cycles now to stop the Obama agenda. And they just fall right in line. And, you know, they may as well all be Democrats, you know, the way it's worked. But I don't want to condemn them all, because I do understand their mentality. And I understand the seduction of Washington, because what happens is they get there, and believe me, they are gung-ho. We're going to do things for the people. We're going to stand up. We're going to have backbone. But before they can sit down in their seat in their new office, there are people in there who are saying, look, you can get this position with this influence. But in order to do that, you have to play the game. You have to go along to get along. And then you'll have that position, and you'll have much more power, and you'll be able to do a lot more for your constituents. And it sounds good. You say, oh man, yeah, this is great. I'll be able to do more for my people. And they get the position, and before they sit down, there's somebody else in their office saying, you know, you can get even more power. You can, and on it goes, a vicious cycle. And they never quite get to the point where they are appropriately representing us. Well, what we have to do is we have to put their feet to the fire. We have to put our representatives' feet to the fire. We have to make sure that they are, in fact, doing what we ask them to do. We have to make sure that they're not more concerned about getting reelected and getting positions of power than they are of representing us. We have to send the right kinds of people to Washington for that purpose. But I think ultimately what it requires is strong leadership. You need somebody with real backbone who's not afraid. And I think if we get a strong president in next year, that a lot of those people who have been seduced by Washington will stand up behind them. But we need that kind of strength, first of all. And we need the kind of leadership that is not politically motivated, that is not interested in running for re-election as soon as they get into office. And I know if I get into office, if it's God's will, I will not be concerned about another term. And it's very likely that I will be a one-term president, because the things that have to be done to fix where we're going will not be popular things. And even though I would explain to people what we're doing, you know, people don't like to make sacrifices anymore. They don't like to hurt in any way. But the fact of the matter is, sacrifices will have to be made, because the people who preceded us made sacrifices so that we could have a decent life. And now it's our turn to make some sacrifices. You know, you're looking at these enormous debts, $18.5 to $19 trillion. Somebody has to be responsible for that. And, you know, one of the first things that I would do, I would call a joint session of Congress, tell them that we work for the people, they don't work for us, but I also tell them I will not be signing anything that raises the budget by 1 penny. And if you do that for 3 years in a row, we'll have a balanced budget. That's all you have to do. But there's a lot more that can be done. For instance, we have 4.1 million federal employees. It's way too many federal employees. That's more people than in New Hampshire, I think. I mean, that's ridiculous. And fortunately, tens of thousands of them retire each year. I would not replace them. I have a hiring freeze. You can shift people around from position to position to cover critical spots, but simply do not replace them. I think we need to have some new rules in the personnel office so that people who are not doing their jobs in the government can be fired. You know, I would have secret shoppers out there monitoring what's going on. That ideal terrifies the left. But the fact of the matter is, people deserve to have efficiency in our government. I think a lot of the agencies will have to be changed, not just the head of the agencies, but you have to go deep down in there, because there are people who have been entrenched in there for 20, 30, 40 years, and they are not working for the people. They are bona fide bureaucrats, and I believe we should provide them with an opportunity for alternative employment. I think that's the